this is Amanda from The Fundamental Home, and today is Wednesday, and that means it's Worthy Wednesday. And on Wednesdays, we like to talk about how we are worthy of our own best efforts, because as ladies and moms, a lot of times we want to give our best efforts to everyone and everything else. And this is just my weekly reminder that we pay attention to ourselves, because we really need to take care of ourselves. No one else is going to do it, chances are. So just put your best effort out there. But anyway, this week I wanted to talk to you guys because I actually got a comment on one of my videos that made me think a little bit this week. Someone had asked about our grocery budgeting, and they said, and actually not just our grocery budgeting, our budgeting in general, and they said something like, don't you get tired of paying attention to your budget all the time? You know, why don't you just go out and have a good time and not worry about it every once in a while? And the implication was, and that's not an exact quote, you know, that's just an idea of what they said, but the implication was that the way that we live our lifestyle in terms of keeping a tight budget and like penny pinching essentially is drudgery. And the first thing I want to say about that is we don't penny pinch for our amusement. You know, we actually have a very, very tight budget. Now, that budget has come about because we have made some choices. You know, there are some things that we feel are important in our lives and our children's lives, and we want to pursue those things. One of the biggest ones is we want our children to be well educated. So we've put a lot of effort into making sure that that is the case. I quit my job to come home and homeschool them, and at 16 they all hit college and are all doing well in college, and that's another expense that we're penny pinching for because we have to pay for college. Now, we do try to prepare them well. We try to make sure that they have good grades and they're focused on their academics, and they work, both boys work. They're the only ones in college now, Brianna's not yet. But even in spite of all that, you know, there's still some financial responsibility on our part that we have to make sure that we're meeting. So, you know, the penny pinching has a purpose. And so we're not doing it just for our amusement. It actually is purposeful and something that is a necessity in our family. Now, that being said, it's not a drudgery to us. Believe it or not, you know, the way that we handle our budget is not something that I dread. It's not something that I wish were different. What I want to tell you is there's this story that I read or saw in a video somewhere about the Amish. And it was talking about how they seem so happy. And what they said was the Amish find joy in their work rather than the escape from their work. And I tell you, I heard that years ago, and it really struck me at the time. The importance of appreciating and finding joy in the things that you do, rather than trying to escape your responsibilities and trying to find joy outside of those responsibilities. And I think that's where our culture actually has things kind of mixed up. Because, you know, sometimes people think, oh, your grocery budget is so tight, you must be suffering, you know, you probably just want to, you know, go out and buy whatever you want in the grocery store, and hey, that would be great, but I'd still pinch my pennies. You know, I'd still buy the cheapest things and just get a lot more. But the difference is that I still would find joy in the penny pinching part of it, if that makes any sense. I still want to get the very best deal. You know, I don't just want to go out and buy whatever and spend whatever and not even care that the meat, instead of being 99 cents a pound, is $5.99 a pound. I would still care about that. And frankly, I think people who are truly wealthy feel the same way. People who have truly built wealth, let me put it that way. Because, you know, I don't know anything about finance or budgeting. My son Brian, he's a business major, and so he does. And you know, I've heard a lot of Warren Buffett stories, and my favorite is that he drives old vehicles, or he lets them get older than most people do, like 10 years old or something like that, and the tag on it is, I want to say is it frugal or is it thrifty? It's something like that. It's either frugal or thrifty, and that's his tag on his vehicle. And of course, he's one of the richest men in the world, and he's built that up from, you know, practically nothing. So, but he did that by being frugal and thrifty with what he has. You know, you guys know I appreciate Martha Stewart. Yes, I do. And I've read a couple of her books, and she feels the same way. When she goes through her business and she sees rooms that are empty with lights on, she turns the lights off. And I think that mindset doesn't necessarily mean that you're poor or that you're lacking in some way. That's just a good mindset for anyone who wants to watch and be a good steward of what they actually have. And so I think that you don't have to feel as though you're doing without. You can actually find joy in the things that you're doing. So it does start with thankfulness. I do want to emphasize the thankfulness part, because the reality is I've had a few people be critical. I ignore it. I just want to say this is not a complaint about the criticisms, because I think it's ridiculous that we are maybe not neglecting our children. I don't think that's the right word, but that we're just not indulging them enough. You know, we're making them suffer because we don't give them everything. But you know, first of all, I don't necessarily think that's best for kids. And secondly, I think it's ridiculous to think that we're actually suffering. You know, that is such a narrow view of the entire world. Because the truth is, we live in a large, comfortable home. A large, comfortable home. And our children have much clothing. I mean, I'm tired of doing their laundry. Like, they have plenty of clothing. And they are never ashamed to go in public. They always look nice. They always look clean. You know, nobody's shunning them because they're just so out of style in their thrift store clothes. No, they get nice things. It's just from a thrift store. What can I say? But, you know, it's funny. And they have, you know, 3 meals a day at least. They have snacks. They go out, you know, they went to camp last year. They didn't go this year because they were busy with work and college and stuff. But, I mean, Brianna's been swimming. They do stuff. They're not just sitting in their room sad and poor. I just think, but I've had people imply that. And I just think people imply that to me, and I think that people probably feel that way about their own life. You know, they sit and they think about, oh, my poor kids, they're really not doing anything this summer. Their summer's so boring. You know, we're just going to the library. They've only gone to the pool a few times. And you could look at it in that way, or you could look at it in a different way and say, you know what, they're experiencing so much. You know, they have the freedom to enjoy themselves over the summer. And yeah, they're going to get bored, but they're going to learn how to deal with that. And you could look at it in a positive way rather than a negative way. And what happens is when you turn it into a positive, then not only do you feel better about what you're doing, but your family feels better. Because if you are walking around sad and feeling like what your family has is not enough, your children are going to feel the same way. They are going to feel the same way. And that is the last thing that you want. You want them to appreciate what they have. And in order for them to appreciate what they have, you need to appreciate what you have. But this translates into your everyday life, because the thing is, it does take work to meet all of our goals. You know, grocery budgeting is work. I have to sit down and plan, and I have to think about things, and then I have to, like, just speaking of one meal, I have to plan it, I have to make sure we have the groceries for it, I have to actually prepare the meal and put it on the plates, make sure everyone's served, and then afterwards the dishes have to be done. And if you look at the individual tasks, they can seem like drudgery, you know, depending on what it is you enjoy doing. Not everybody enjoys grocery shopping like I do. I hear that from a lot of people. I love it, but a lot of people don't love it. For me, it's a treasure hunt. I love it. But not everyone feels that way. You know, preparing meals, not everyone enjoys cooking. Not everyone likes doing the dishes. I don't like doing the dishes. I don't. I get out of it every chance I get. I am thankful for children. Brian actually enjoys doing dishes. He's crazy. What can I say? That's my son, not my husband, by the way. I enjoy laundry. Just on a side note, I love to do laundry. I find laundry soothing. I love to fold it. It brings me great joy. Maybe I'm crazy. I don't know. But, you know, the whole thing is that all of those individual tasks can be drudgery, but they don't have to be. You know, if you don't like grocery shopping, go with a friend. You know, If you aren't a big fan of cooking, but you have to be the cook in your household, then find a way to enjoy it. You know, get different cookbooks, go on Pinterest, watch TV shows, find a way to cook meals for your family that brings you joy. So that as you become more and more successful, that joy is going to build. Because people just want to just do something and it just be immediately joyful. The dishes are not ever going to be immediately joyful. What's joyful to me is the clean counters and the clean sink. I find joy in that, right? But in order to get there, I have to actually go through the washing of the dishes. And you know, in the same way, if you don't enjoy cooking, you know, you might enjoy the eating. And you might enjoy the cooking more if the eating is better. You know what I mean? If you make better food and the eating is great, then you might really start to enjoy that cooking part. So you just have to look at it from the right perspective. You just have to take the different tasks that you have to do every day and try to find joy in them. I find joy in doing dishes. If somebody's drying for me, if maybe I'm listening to the radio and there's a great song on, you know, if there's something that I can turn the task that I am not enjoying into a fun thing, it's easy to find joy. Now, there are times when you just have to do it and it can't be Disneyland. You know what I mean? It just can't be fun. It just has to be work. Well, then you just have to encourage your own self and just get the work done and be joyful in the after effect. You know what I mean? But if you purpose to find joy in your work every day, then what you build is a life of joy. But if you do not purpose to find joy in your life, in every task each day, then what you build is an unhappy life, a life without joy. And it comes from all of the little things that you do every day and how you respond to them. So I just want to encourage you this week, if your life is full of a lot of different tasks and none of them seem fun to you, to take that viewpoint, to find joy in the actual work rather than the escape from it. You don't have to wish for a different life. You don't have to wish for a bigger budget. All you have to do is do what you have to do the best you can with it, and try to find joy in it in whatever small way that you can. And I think that if you do that all the time, if you make that your practice, then you'll find that your life is filled with that joy that you thought you were missing, but it really is always there. You just had to make the choice to do it, to have it, you know? So anyway, that's Worthy Wednesday this week, you guys. Thank you for watching. Thank you for being with us. And let me know if you have any comments on that, because, you know, I hope all of you are finding joy in your lives. And if you're not, let me encourage you. So anyway, I will see you next time. And if you want to catch my other Worthy Wednesday videos, I will link them up here. And you can check those out. I definitely recommend, I'm linking you to the playlist, but I recommend highly, related to this topic, dealing with negativity. That's one of the videos in the playlist. So anyway, have a great day, and I will see you next time. Bye.